Hello and welcome to Chord Dave Live number 63, if you can believe it. Happy Saturday. Hope you're doing well wherever you may be in the world, whether you're one of those lovely Canadian people we have, or if you're a fellow Irish person, or anywhere in between. It's good to have you and have a nice Saturday with you. I'll join you for a drink in a second, but my pint of Guinness is not quite ready. It's settling. That's what they do. Anyway, let's talk about guitars and things. Hope you are well. If you're new here, you got to be subscribed before you can join the chat for just 1 minute. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. That'll be cool. And yeah, we'll talk about guitars and things. And while we're at it, we'll talk about videos and things because that's something we need to talk about as well. Anyway, hope you're doing well. Scott was, of course, the first person in chat. He always is. Good to see you, Scott. And guys, I have to say, Scott uploaded a video on his channel today. If you like the song, you know that one, the Monster Mash, Scott's probably just recorded the best version ever. So check out his channel and check out the Monster Mash. Could have been better a couple of months ago, Scott, but I like it a lot. He did a good job. It was cool, man. Grandpa Joe's here. Good to see you, Grandpa Joe. Hope you are well. Wishing all a happy and safe weekend. Indeed. Hope you have a great weekend. John Brad is here. Good to see you, John. Hope you're good, man. And Marcia's here. It's always nice to see you. Marcia says, I'm here. Just got to feed the beast first. Huey is hungry. Also got to post to Twitter. Hit that. And while I'm gone or else. Indeed. People were hitting the thumbs up. Good. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. Good to see you, Marcia. Ryan is here. Good to see you, Ryan. Thanks for dropping in. It's always good when you drop into the live stream. You're here every week, of course. T. Good to see you, T. Says, hey, Dave. Good evening to all in the chat. Question, anyone have a Shure Bella or a Hampstead 20? And what are your views on hand-wired amps? I don't have either of those. Hand-wired amps, I think, are great, but I've never actually had one. So yeah, I don't know if there's any pitfalls or any problems, but I'm sure somebody here will be able to answer that much better than I can. But yeah, by all accounts, I think they're pretty cool. Anyways, how's Guinness getting on? Sure, it's nearly ready. Scott says, anyone new, you'll have to subscribe. Indeed. And this is Brian. Hang on, who's Brian? Al is here, by the way. Good to see you, Al. Thanks for dropping in. Said, who's Brian? Ryan, that was for you. You guys are always way ahead of me. Ryan says, I've played Shure Bella, but never Hampstead. Bella is clean and loud. You'll need pedals for dirt. Okay, cool. I get called Brian a lot. Says Ryan. I have to watch the Air headphones. Never heard of that mod though. Yeah, people call me all kinds of names except for Dave, which is fine by me. Chris from Coburg's here. Good to see you, Chris. Hope you are doing well. And Glenn Bailey says, hello, family. Hello, Glenn. We're always glad to see you. I forgot to do something that I was supposed to do. Glenn just reminded me. For no reason other than just being Glenn. Glenn says, Al, that is a sweet PRS you got. Those prices were great, and that's a nice guitar. Yeah, Al, very nice PRS you picked yourself up there. And a good deal, because you didn't have to pay tax. I like when those deals come together. That's super cool. You see, Ryan, Glenn says, Roxanne, how's your voice doing, Dr. Evil Wrench? Scott had a very interesting rendition of a few songs this week. Orion says, I'll look into that, would be better. Which PRS did you get, Al? If you didn't see it on Instagram, Al has a brand new hollow body PRS. It's very, very nice. Yeah, let me see what else we got. Scott Bogfoot says, major blizzard here, guys. I wouldn't doubt if the power goes. It's building up on the trees pretty good here. Only about 60 centimeters, but it's heavy. Well, stay safe and warm if you can, Scott. And yeah, take care of yourself out there. Definitely scary when the weather does shit like that. I shouldn't swear. YouTube has this new thing. If you swear on your YouTube channel, you basically get demonetized. So they don't want us doing that for some reason. I don't know, advertising and all that sort of crack, I suppose. But I did want to mention, speaking of YouTube videos, new video you may have seen is coming out tomorrow on YouTube. Here's the big thumbnail. It's got Slash in it, and it's about Harry Benton's. So you can wait till tomorrow. Of course you can wait till tomorrow, and it'll be on YouTube at about 9 p.m. Irish time. However, it's already on Patreon. So if you want 3-Chord Dave to come early in your life, get your mind out of gutter, then you can sign up to Patreon. You get your videos at least 24 hours early, sometimes a lot more than that. Because there was one time I uploaded to Patreon and forgot to put it on YouTube until like 2 days later. So just bear that in mind. So that's the video. It's about Slash and Harley Benton. And I think they're pretty cool guitarists. So check them out. Check out that video tomorrow, 9 p.m. Irish time, which is an hour before whatever time now is. Ben Allmark says, hope you're doing well, including you, Dave. Thanks, Ben. I hope you're doing well. Anybody watching the football game? Nope. Well, I don't even know who's playing. The Eagles against the Bats? I don't know. I don't know American football teams. Marcia says, I have a hankering for cereal at 5 p.m. #random. You know what? My brother would eat cereal any time of the day. Just don't eat Lucky Charms. They're not good for you. And anyway, they have a secret. Ryan says 60 centimeters. That's as much as Toronto gets all winter. Wow. I know. I was in Toronto in March, and it like 10 years ago, and it felt like we got 60 centimeters that day, like on St. Patrick's Day that year. Anyway, we clearly didn't, but yeah, it's a lot. Mar says, drink of choice today, Coke with freshly squeezed lime. No booze today, because booze costs money. Indeed it does. This is leftover Christmas alcohol in my house. So it's a pint of Guinness that, let's see how it tastes. It smells like Guinness. Guinness moustache and the whole thing. Yeah, cheers, sláinte, and all that sort of stuff. There is a YouTube channel that the dude just goes around reviewing pints of Guinness in different pubs. He's done it all over Ireland, the UK a little bit of Europe, and he started to do places in the US as well. So I think I could have got there before him. I could have gone out and started drinking pints of Guinness and filming myself. But if only I'd started that channel instead of this one. Well, live and learn. On the next platform, I'm going to start reviewing Guinness, whatever that may be. Ben says, on the East Coast, I'm in Ontario, and we got some snow, but nothing like that. Interesting. Mouthwash has a similar effect, Marcia, says Ryan. Indeed, if you have the right mouthwash, that's for sure. You don't want to accidentally buy a non-alcoholic one. Scott says, we should have 5 feet of snow like we normally do. This is only our first snowstorm worth talking about so far, the winter. Well, there you go. It's not too bad. Winter's over in like another 10 months, I believe. Then we get 3 days of good weather, and then we get more winter. That's what it feels like anyway. Marcia says to Scott, thanks for mentioning. So we will know you didn't ditch us if you suddenly go poof. We totally agree if you decided to ditch us on purpose. Hey, I'm sure he wouldn't ditch us on purpose. Ryan says, I always see the East Coast getting huge storms on the news, especially NS. There you go. So lots of snow in eastern Canada is what I'm picking up. There we go. Who else is here? Chris from Coburg is here. He's in Scarborough. And T-Ball says, what up, guitar freaks? Good to see you, Anthony. Hope you're well, my friend. Yeah, nice to see you dropping in to see us. Lots of hellos and stuff. Benny Larson is here. Good to see you, Benny. Hope everything's good with you, my friend. Ben says, nobody's got this football game on, eh? I'm kind of surprised. There you go. Yeah, who's I mean, yeah, it's probably too. Is this like Super Bowl time nearly? Should that be soon? I don't know. Let's get it. Have a drink. There you go, Chris. Indeed. Let's just sample some more of this delicious stuff. Yeah, it's definitely of the Guinness variety. I like it. Let me see. John says, greetings, everyone. Thanks, John. Where are we now? Just getting past all the comments. They're saying hello to each other, guys, for a second. Robert is here. Says, morning, gang. Always the best wishes to you all. Keep playing. Good to see you, Robert. Hope your Sunday morning goes super well down there in Australia, which is always nice to have folks from Australia dropping in, and New Zealand and places like that. It's great to see you guys. Scott says, good morning to Happy Australia Day. I think it's soon. Interesting. Yeah, I'm not aware of that one, but I'm sure it is soon. And Happy Australia Day in advance. T-Ball says, good news, I'm still on a break from chemo treatments and I have energy for jam sessions and practice. Life is good. That's cool, T-Ball. Glad to hear it. Yeah, you keep rocking. That is awesome. Chris says, pretty sure my family bought me a Yamaha acoustic for my 50th next week. And I am blessed. Indeed. Hey, nothing wrong with a Yamaha acoustic. Indeed. It's a very cool thing. Scott says, I love snowstorms in my car/shed. I've never been in a well, we've had snow. I don't know if we've had particularly snowstorms, not what you guys would call snowstorms. I think the nearest I had to that was when I was in Toronto and it snowed on St. Patrick's Day. But in the afternoon, it got like really sunny. That was a weird experience, but it was great. I loved it. Let me see. Al says, isn't YouTube only checking the first 30 seconds for swearing? Yeah, something like that. There's conflicting reports. I don't know. I mean, YouTube's just doing its best to try and like mess with you, with the creators on the platform. I don't know why they do it. Hey, well, people. I mean, just people who this is how they make their living, is by being on YouTube all the time, and they just keep getting these things. It doesn't affect me too much because I, don't swear too often in my regular videos, and I don't. Well, I try not to, and I don't make my living from YouTube, so it's not that big a deal for me. But there are people out there who, as soon as they, put up a video, will say, "How the flip are you doing?" or whatever. Yeah, and those people are not making money anymore, or not as much. It's horrible. They should just leave it. It's grand. It's working fine. But you're right, Al. I think, 30 seconds. I did hear that from a few people. Corey's here. Good to see you, Corey. Says, hey, gang, don't forget to hit all of those buttons for Dave. Has anyone got any experience with the early 80s Ibanez Roadstar 2 series? Might be adding one to the fleet. Thanks for that, Corey. I have not any experience with the Ibanez Roadstar 2 series, but I'd be interested to see how it is if you add it to the collection. Glenn says, anyone have thoughts on the new Badlands guitars, the Phil McKnight Tone King brand? I have thoughts, and if you want to know them, then you will have to wait for my video. No, I'm just kidding. I think it's cool. I like it. I like their idea. I'm not a huge fan of the design of the guitar. It's just not my kind of guitar. That's fine. The whole Floyd thing and everything is a Goto Floyd. But I think it's a great idea that you do basically a limited run. Whoever wants one can get one, and then as soon as nobody wants one anymore, they're gone, and they stop making that model. That model never gets made again. I think that's a great idea. I wonder how sustainable it is, though. If like, for example, double humbucker, that's great, but then do they do the exact same guitar but a single humbucker, or the exact same guitar but 3 single coils, like same design? I mean, I don't know. I'd be interested to see how it goes. The first guitar, I think, is a very interesting one that looks to be good quality. I think with someone like Phil McKnight at the helm and steering it, you can be assured of the quality, but they're expensive, right? They're like $2,000 or something, so they'd want to be good. But yeah, I think the beauty of it is it's guitar nerds making guitars for guitar nerds, and it's not a company trying to make money at all costs or by suing people. So I like it. Be interesting to see what else they do as well. I hope they do like something completely different next. Like do a single cut, do an SG style double cut or something, or a junior style or something, inspired by a Flying V or something. As long as they're not all just looking like what did he say, early 80s style guitars. I think are pretty cool, and I'm a big fan of Phil McKnight. I think he's super cool. I haven't really watched the Tone King in a while, but I know he's a solid dude as well. So yeah, looking forward to seeing more Badlands stuff, and hopefully they'll make one that I can I can bring on the channel at some point. Let me see. We have Scott's put in the video for or the link for tomorrow's video. Very cool. That is excellent news. Ronald says, any more info on Adam Jones' Epiphone coming? Well, Ronald, the latest news that we have so far is that the 14th of February is the next one coming out, which is the Berserker. We did a video on that last weekend. So yeah, that's out the 14th of February, and same price, same specs, same everything, except it's the Berserker finish on it. It seems to me like they're going to be releasing one every 2 months. So we had one in December, and then we're going to have one in February. Lines up with having one in April when everyone's at NAMM. So you won't get a video about those ones, or you might, I don't know. So yeah, Ronald, that is the best and latest information I have. I think what'll happen is the Berserker ones will come out in February, and then a week or so later we will have more news on what the next one is. So and I'm pretty sure Gibson are actually putting that information out to certain sources. So we'll find it. It'll be fine. Ryan says, hand-wired amps are nice. I've never compared the same amp regular versus hand-wired. Have a hand-wired Marshall JCM Benson car. Very cool. Let me see what else we've got. Ben says, Jacksonville Jaguars are in KC playing the Chiefs in a do or die playoff game. Awesome. I hope the team you want to win wins. I don't know if those are good teams. Let me see what we've got. Glenn Bailey saying, I'm looking forward to the /HB video. I was wondering when they would be doing that. It's very cool. I mean, look, at the end of the day, I think they're probably, I didn't mention this in the video, by the way. I think they're actually playing on the Slash link a little bit. They're trying to hope that people will be like, hey, that looks like a Slash guitar. But some of the specs are not quite what they would be. We'll go into that in the video, stuff like that. It's a cool look from them. They're 350 euros, which is not the cheapest HB guitar, but yeah, I think they're pretty good. And I mentioned in the video, I bought a Harley Benton guitar about 10 years ago. I think it's older than 10 years ago, for a project I was working on, for a film project, and thankfully it wasn't needed to be played. It was just a piece to look at. It looked fantastic. It looks like an actual gold top from the distance. It looked really, really good. But on playing it, terrible, and weighed probably 3 times as much as a regular Les Paul. They were awful guitars. Now they're great guitars. So yeah, I'm probably going to have to break my no guitars before NAMM rule for that one though, because I think they may end up getting a slap on the wrist or a cease and desist. One of those two things. Nella's here. Good to see you. It says, hi all, stepped up to the computer and saw that you're live. Yeah, every Saturday, 10 p.m. My time. So we'll have, well, most Saturdays. So we'll see how it goes. For now, anyway, guys, I do have to say, I may end up reviewing that at some point in the near future. So we'll see how that goes. But for now, 10 p.m. Saturday, every Saturday. Al says, I'm also drinking a leftover from Christmas, but it's a Sam Adams. I quite like Sam Adams, actually. It's not a bad beer. Yeah, I was and my local supermarket stocks it from time to time, so it's not too bad. T-Ball says, Guinness drinks like a meal. Guinness is, yeah, it's kind of a piece of everything. Chris says, leftover alcohol, unheard of. I did fall a little bit sick over Christmas. That's why I couldn't drink it all. So that's why it's there. I'm only just getting back to normal now. Let me see. John says, Dave, I have a question for you and the group. Does anyone use the black Fender tremolo springs or the vintage springs? I don't have a guitar that they would be used in. I have a Harley Benton Strat, but it's in its case and has been for a while. So I haven't had any need to use them. I don't usually use tremolo arms anyway, or whammy bars, as some people would call them. I don't. You tend to take them off and leave them in the case or in the what do you call it? Gig bag or whatever. So yeah, I haven't used them, but I believe they work really well. The tremolo springs, the Fender ones that you can buy, I think they're only like $5 a bag or something. T-Ball says can't drink, doesn't mix well with painkillers. Yeah, that's definitely not a good combination. Mark says Guinness is great, nice and thick. It's not for everyone. Does Guinness's taste change in different locations? Genius channel idea. It does. It does. Guinness is different from pub to pub here. You can get a good one and a bad one. In the UK, Guinness is very different to how it feels and tastes different, I feel. I haven't been in the UK for a good while, so the last time I had a pint over there, it was definitely different. Yeah, and in the US, it's anytime I've had Guinness, it's been very different. New York, it can be really good. For some reason, New York gets, I think, the best Guinness in the US. Anywhere else I've had Guinness in the US, it hasn't been good. And that's pretty much what Guinness Guru finds on his channel. But anyway, it's just a thing. But yeah, great channel idea. You should go around tasting Heineken's or something. Heineken Guru might not quite work the same. Ben Allmark says, T-Ball, no, it doesn't, but you're not missing out on anything but a hangover. Hey, yeah, that's also true. Hangover is not the favorite thing around here. Ryan says, I usually have Guinness. It's thicker, but it's got that nice sweetness to it. It does have a nice sweetness to it. I also think it's a taste you kind of got to get used to. You don't see too many young folk drinking the Guinness. It's kind of an acquired taste when you're a little bit older, I think. John says, I'm trying to set up my tremolo like Jeff Beck, but I can't find his tremolo springs set up online. Oh God, I wouldn't even know where to start, to be honest. T says, try Erdinger. Yeah, tried Erdinger a few times. It's not bad. Not bad. I do enjoy it from time to time. Ryan says, it does change from location to location. Sure, everyone has a different draft system. Poor. Indeed. When the wind stops outside, looks like a postcard. Neighbour's wood stove is smelling nice. It sounds good. Sounds good. Try Erdinger, Dave. Lovely beer. I agree with you, T. Yeah. Had it a few times. Again, it's one that pops up. Or actually, I think they regularly stock it down the road in the supermarket now. So yeah, it could definitely be floated into the rotation more often for sure. Marsh says, that's true, Ryan. Didn't consider that part. Magic Myths, good to see you, says Dave. What's with all the DM me spam comments on your videos? I'll tell you what that is, Magic Myths. That is a plague of YouTube. It's not me. And you will see that. My official, what do you call it? If I put a comment, you'll see that it just says 3-Chord Dave. That's all. And the picture is taken from all of the what do you call them, from all of the YouTube channels. They do it on everyone's channel. It's very, very hard to block them, and you get in and you change something that stops them, and they figure out what you've blocked, and they rewrite the message to not have those blocked comments. And it's the plague of YouTube. So yeah, Magic Myths, it's not me, and I've tried to stop them, but unfortunately YouTube is just taking no action on it, and there's not a lot we can do. So apologies if that's inconvenient to you, but yeah, it's not me. I never ask anyone to DM me or contact me on anywhere or anything like that in the comment section. In fact, and the guys will tell you this, I rarely comment in the comment section of the channels. If I do, just make sure if you see a comment and it says it's from me, it will only say 3-Chord Dave. It won't say 3-Chord Dave, contact me, 3-Chord Dave plus 3-Chord Dave, anything else. Just says 3-Chord Dave. And so just make sure it's actually me. And if I ask you to contact me or send me money or something, it's not me. And if I tell you you've won a competition, it's not me. The only time we do competitions, we do them live. So anyway, yeah, it annoys me too, so I do apologize. Victor Crosby says, hello, Canada, from the Free Gator State. Well, indeed. Hello, Victory Crosby. Good to see you. Glenn says, John, good luck finding that info. That's deep dive stat. Indeed, I would imagine. Scott Brower says, my girlfriend got me a Yamaha acoustic for Christmas. Just arrived yesterday. Very cool. Yeah, delivery problems all around. But very cool. Nice gift to receive. T-Ball says, no snow in Maryland where I live. Hopefully we'll get some soon. I'm kind of dreading snow, to be quite honest with you. It looks nice and everything, but then it just leaves a mess. and nobody knows what to do with it. And it's just Ireland doesn't do well with extreme weather conditions in any way, whether it's cold weather or super hot weather. And super hot weather is not what people say in California would call super hot weather, or Florida or anywhere. So yeah, we are not good with extreme. We just need mild all the time. Mild weather, that's what we need. A nice gentle breeze. That suits us. It's better for whether we're playing guitar or reading a book or doing whatever. John says, Dave, I hope you don't get shut down for saying glory holes. Yeah, I don't. I try not to say that. They only come up in the live streams, to be honest. So I think we're okay as long as we just wait a little bit. And Ryan says, Yamaha are some of my favorite acoustics, best value by far. And if you get into the master built line, it's just some of the best made. Yeah, Yamahas are great all around, for sure. I'd agree with you there. I don't have a favorite acoustic range yet. Because I've never really got super into acoustics. I will eventually. Chris from Coburg says, can you imagine Geek Lord swearing a lot? Yeah, maybe. Hey, Magic Mitts, says Scott. Yeah, good stuff. Good to see the new folks dropping into the chat. We love to see you. Marcia says, Dave, my siblings were in Ireland for a massive storm that disabled your entire country. No electric, water, plows, or shovels. I forget the year. It must have been 1924. Yeah, no, I mean, the entire country going out of electricity would be a bit mad because it's all regional and so forth. But yeah, we've had some bad ones, but not like in a long time. There was all this talk of a hurricane a few years ago, and it got a bit windy. That's all that happened. It really wasn't that bad. Yeah, it's not. It's we don't deal well with it. Yeah, but yeah, electricity goes out from time to time when there's bad weather. It hasn't in a long time where I live, but can't actually remember the last time it went out. But when you work from home, you tell your work that it goes out all the time, or you used to when you worked for a company that was I can't break the swearing rule. Anyway, love all my former employers. Glenn says, Magic Myths, I get the DM every time I comment on anyone's channel. Yeah, it's a plague. It really is. It's one of those, like YouTube needs to do something about it. If people they need to stop people. I suppose you can't really stop people from copying others' profile pictures, but they need to find some way of making it so that it's the channel host or channel owner who's commenting on your post, because it's very annoying to me. And I hate seeing you guys comment and saying, hey, something is somebody said to contact you. I know one person at least on the channel got scammed out of a lot of money, and I hate seeing it. It's not nice for me that that's happened because you're watching the video or you're on the live streams or whatever. But because honestly, there's not a lot I can do about it. I've tried everything that I can. Al says, I'm in New Jersey and I'm very happy it hasn't snowed yet. And my wife is in Brazil complaining that it's too hot. Yeah, that's pretty much how it is every year here. It's either it's snowing or it's about to snow and we're afraid of it. And then it gets too hot and we're like, damn it, we wish it was winter. And then winter comes, we hate it. Anyway. Ryan says, I saw Ursula McCarthy report that one. I presume that's some sort of weather. Chris from Coburg says, I think the Badlands guitar is hideous. It's definitely one where you would have to be really into that particular design. I know, it just made me think of a really badly painted A-Team van. Do you remember the A-Team? Yeah, but like not in a cool way. Like it didn't look like the A-Team van, just the colors. Anyway, as I said, like I didn't like it. It wasn't my cup of tea, but I think they're going to do some cool stuff. I really do. I hope so. T-Ball says, Chris, I have to agree. It's hideous. Nebo Gold Adventures, good to see you, says, Guinness, there's nothing on this planet like a pint of the black stuff. Indeed, there's nothing like the black stuff at all. It's wonderful. Marcia says, might have been around 2010. My brother took my sister to Ireland after she finished grad school. Yeah, 2010, there was a big snow at the end of the year. Yeah. So I had just arrived back from LA, where the weather was quite nice and warm and toasty. And then I got to Ireland. By the time I got home, the place was covered in snow. And yeah, it wasn't an enjoyable week or so. But yeah, definitely power didn't go out in some parts of the country. I'm sure it did. But yeah, we don't have like snow plows lying around or anything like that. So most people just don't cope very well. It's a fun place to live. John says, Geek Lord curse words include gosh darn it, dang, frick, fudge, heck, and poo. You might hear those from more YouTubers now, as people are going on. Robert says, what's snow? Australia Day this Thursday, 26th. Well, happy Australia Day on Thursday, Robert. Snow is a thing. You don't have to worry about it in your part of the world. Lots of things to worry about in your part of the world, but not snow, I believe. And Victory Crosby says, I had a Roadster 2 with a fully scalloped maple neck. One buck in the bridge with trans blue, highly flamed maple top. It was excellent. I wish I still had it, like most of them. Yeah, there's a few guitars that I had down the years that I regret not having anymore. There's a lot of things I regret not having anymore. Not just guitars, all kinds of things. But hey, we won't get into that too much because my therapy session isn't for another 3 hours. Chris says, did you all just profile pics because I can see them now? Do you all just add profile pics? No. A lot of people have had them. Some people don't use them at all. I never have. But yeah, it is weird. Ryan says, cool, Marshall, going back there in June for a few weeks. Very cool. Yeah, Ryan, that's awesome. Let me know when you're here if you want to grab a pint of Guinness. That'd be cool. Glenn says, John, darn you, all to heck. That's another way of doing it, for sure. Marcia says, I enjoyed the guy who commented on Dave's video last week about his price predictions being way off. Go check for it. It was rather funny. Fill us in, Marcia. Tell us what he said, because I don't know. But yeah, it's all good. Ryan says, anyone ever see the band Oakley Dokley? It's an Ed Flanders themed metal band. I have seen them actually. Yeah, that's an interesting one. See, music has so many different variations and styles and I don't know, people doing things. It's expressive. It's cool. Ronald Lord says, thanks for the info. Love the show. Thanks, Ronald. Appreciate it. Thank you. Glad to have you here. Thanks for dropping in. Let's see. Glenn says, HB did a Keith Richards telly. Yeah. Reference it in the video. That's coming out tomorrow. That you can see right now if you're on Patreon. In fact, our good friend Ryan has already seen it. And so if you want to be cool like Ryan, join the Patreon. It's very cool. And yeah, the guitars are cool, and I like where Harley Benton are going. I think they're being as cheeky as they can. But anyway, we'll get into that a little bit after the video comes out, I suppose. Marsh says, I've never been to Europe. I've been to almost every state in this country and Eastern Canada thanks to family road trips and brave mom who saved all year and took 3 kids and herself for 2-3 weeks. Yeah, well, it's cool. Traveling is always good if you can get around to it. But the thing is, traveling around the States takes a lot of effort. It's because it's massive over there. I've been to 7 or 8 states. I don't know, probably. If you can count airport stops, just connecting flights, probably in maybe 12. I don't know. But there's a lot more than that. Jameson Pace says Badlands comes with or without the Floyd for 2,500. Yeah, that's right. And I think there's lefties as well, right? And there's no upcharge for being a lefty. They are. It's a guitar company showing some love to lefties. That doesn't happen very often. So I'm glad the lefties are getting some love there. Chris from Coburg says, I'm as tired of hearing about Slash as I am about Dave effing Grohl. He's in every video, Chris. He's in every video, Slash is. So you might want to rethink that now. Slash is everywhere, and there's going to be more Slash this year. Gibson and Epiphone bringing out new Slash guitars, so brace yourself. I don't think they are bringing out a Dave Grohl one, though. I haven't heard of anything, so don't worry about that. You won't hear more about him, at least in the guitar sense. Glenn Bailey says, and a hard shell case. For the Badlands, yeah. I think you mean for the Badlands, right? Beyond that, I was in Israel for a month, says Marsha, in 99 to 2000. Was there for the Y2K dud. Anytime anyone mentions that, I always laugh. I think it's great. You had a great experience at that New Year's Eve. I don't know if I told you guys this, but yeah, the place I went. So I was a 17, and went to a party at a friend's house for New Year's Eve. 99, of course. Everyone was afraid the computers were going to kill the world. And somebody had actually planned out this very elaborate prank that when we were all saying Happy New Year at midnight, they would flip the switch and all the, like, just, you know, the fuse box, and everything would go out, and everyone in the house would freak out that Y2K was actually happening and we were all going to be dead. So everyone started freaking out. It was really funny, and I wish I had thought of it. And now somebody, I still don't know who, has the story that they epically pranked like 40 people on a New Year's Eve in 99. I wish it was me. It wasn't. It was just hilarious to be there and be a part of it. Anyway, that was my Y2K story. It makes me laugh every time someone mentions it. John says, I love my Harley Benton 62 Strat vintage style in white. Indeed, it's a nice one. You know, it's white, but Jimmy had a white one, so it's okay. I mentioned a little bit about my history with Harley Benton in the video that you'll see tomorrow, if you wait that long. And yeah, it's a pretty cool where they've come from to where they are now. Definitely a different experience with Harley Bentons for sure. Ryan says, never been to Israel, but I had a GF from Tel Aviv. Interesting. A worldwide lover. International. Man of mystery. I like it. Ryan says, is it nice there? The pictures of it looked beautiful. Never been. Couldn't tell you. I'm sure Marsha can. Chris Coburg says, I can pour a beauty Guinness after 20 years of bartending. Canada does it proper. I don't remember if I actually had Guinness in Toronto. Probably not. But hey, I should go back and have one. Just, you imagine the immigration queue. So, why are you here in Toronto? Just came for a pint of Guinness. I don't think they'd believe me. Anyway, Marcia says, Dave, do the same channel, but for Irish whiskey. Well, there you go. The problem there is there's so many different Irish whiskies. You'd have to, I mean, yeah, it'd be a fun one, though. It'd be a fun one. Although you would get criticized for how you were drinking the whiskey, how you were tasting it, if you use any mixers, what kind of mixers, and all kind. It's a very political space, the Irish whiskey space, but yeah, it might be fun, to be honest. Matt Van Bosch says, is 65% humidity going to cause my acoustic problems in the long term? Bought myself a nice acoustic at the end of last year and wanted to make sure I take good care of it. I'm going to say it probably is okay, but I will heed to someone else's expertise, not being a master acoustic person. But yeah, I think 60-65 should be all right. From my limited knowledge. Marcia says, I have cousin there. It really was beautiful. Saw the entire country from top to bottom. Speak Hebrew, but everyone speaks English in all the major tourist areas. Lots of cousins there. Very good. Yeah, somewhere I've never been. But who knows? Who knows what the future holds? As traveling for me starts again this year, I want to go to a lot of places that I haven't been to. So maybe not this year, but some year maybe. Al says, what if we start spamming the spammer? Yeah, I mean, I get spam text messages. The latest one that's going around here is your package is being delayed because of a duty charge. It's like, you can keep it. I always text back, you can keep it. It's fine, because there's never an actual package. But there you go. Yeah, spamming spammers is a great idea. If you see them, guys, do your best to report them or flag them, whatever you can. I don't think it really is going to help because YouTube don't actually care. Ryan says 60-65 should be fine, but that's about the max you'd want. So there you go, Matt. Good to get that. And good to see you, Matt. Thanks for dropping in. Erdinger is the business, by the way. Tasty. I wish wheat beer liked me as much as I like wheat beer. All about the voice. Yeah, I actually agree with you on that very point, Matt. Yeah, wheat beer doesn't like all of us the way we like it. Ryan wants to know what acoustic did you get, and you said you got, it's a bit extravagant, but I got a D28, one strum, and I was sold. Those guys at the guitar shop know what they are doing. Just try this. Game over. Speaking of acoustic guitars, while we're on the subject, guys, I did get a map from NAMM this week for who's going to be there, and I'm starting to look at who I'm going to be visiting and so forth, trying to plan out my days, because I'm probably only going to spend 2 of the 3 days there. So my question over the next few weeks, figure out who you want to see me do videos in their booth or in their areas. Do you want to see acoustic guitars, or do you want to see pedals and effects and amps and electric guitars only? Or, let me know what you guys want to see. I'm going to try and get everything, but I might not be able to get everything. So I want to prioritize by things that you guys say you want to see. If you want to see acoustics, I'll show you acoustics. If you don't, well, then we'll just look at electrics and I don't know, do some people watching. I'm trying to also work out a way where I can stream live from NAMM. So I think I've figured it out. So we will see how that goes. But yeah, just lots of work to be done. And also, why is everything so expensive? Have you noticed how expensive the world's ever getting? Anyways, that's why we'll all be playing Harley Benton soon, because everything else is too expensive. Ben says, I just recently bought a used Yamaha FSX5 made in Japan, red label, and playing it is a complete joy. Awesome. Listen, if it's a complete joy, there ain't nothing better. So that's super cool. Ben, glad to hear it's going well for you. Victory says there's cold outside a lot of places, but not so cold in the Sunshine State, where beer from everywhere tastes better. Welcome, cold ones awaiting. Yeah, cold ones. Ain't nothing wrong with cold ones, that's for sure. Love a bit of cold beer. Why not? Scott says, January just cold, but just before the C word was a thing, we had a snowstorm that was so bad. Was it that one that we had snow? I think we had snow here. No, it was 2018. I think it was the last time we had snow here. That was pretty bad. Yeah, it was bad. But anyway. Ryan says, nice. I'm thinking of getting an OM28, just my preferred size, like the Boscher BG51-2. There you go. John says, Dave, I followed your brother on YouTube. I hope everyone else does too. Indeed. Carl's Movie Film Show is his channel. You should all check it out. He does reviews on movies and TV shows and stuff. And he's usually spot on. He's got pretty good taste, because I told him all the good movies to watch when he was a kid. So, it's what I had to do as a big brother. So yeah, check him out. Carl's Movie Film Show. He's got about 700 subscribers right now, and if you can get to 1,000, that'd be great. So if you haven't hit him up yet, do it. Thanks for that, John. Appreciate it. Scott says, and we were locked down for 2 weeks. Those were the days. Nella says, I bought a Boss Katana Mark II 100 watt head for my brother. I like it. I hope he likes it. Any thoughts on that amp, folks? If I was buying an amp tomorrow, it would be a Boss Katana, I think. So Mark II. So yeah, I think like another one for this room here. Yeah, I definitely. It would be one of the ones that was at the top of my list. So I think that's a pretty cool amp for sure. Chris from Coburg says, Phil has an A-Team and a Lamborghini poster in his bedroom wall still. So that's what that explains the guitar. Maybe it does. It's definitely got that early 80s vibe to it. Like, I think they got the styling right for an early 80s guitar. like a very early 80s guitar. I don't know. They didn't quite go super bright colors with it, but the red and the black is it's fun. It's fun. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, imagine you do buy 4 or 5 of those guitars though, and like some of the case candy is interesting, and then you get like the cable with each one, and you got like I don't know $80 cables with like 6 different guitars. I don't know about you guys. I just use the same cable all the time. Um, one of these ones here. It's a Fender one, I believe. But anyway, cables is a whole other conversation we could have. But yeah, I mean, anyway, it's fine. They give you everything you need basically. It's a good package. Mar says, in fact, I just remembered that the storm was big enough that it made the news here in New York City. The Irish storm, 2010, it probably was. I was jet lagged through the whole thing. I didn't know what was going on. But then again, I normally don't. So when there's nothing wrong. So anyway, there you go. Glenn says, Nell, I saw one in a shop this week. I want one. Can you adopt me? Glenn, you can't ask a different person to adopt you every week, okay? You just have to wait like once a month, ask to be adopted. If you don't get adopted in that month, you got to wait till the next month. That's how it works. So until the 21st of February, sir, no more asking to be adopted. Victory says, I got the original Katana 50. It's amazing and light. That's exactly why I would pick it up. Yeah, because this for what it is, for the package it is. I think they're great. Ryan says Katana are amazing. Thinking of getting a small one. Small one is cool. Mar says, I'm hoping that the Spark will either get a new larger cabinet model and refresh on the Spark 40, since it's been like 3 years now since it was released. I know Spark are planning something for later this year. I don't know what, but the last thing they did was a smaller one, right? Like the battery powered one. So I don't know. I don't know what to expect from them, but it'll be interesting. I've never actually played through one of those, but I've seen enough people say that they were good that I would like to check them out a little bit more. Black Oak, Arkansas was early metal. Jim Dandy and Ruby Star, says Victory. Interesting. Yes, there you go. I don't know too much about them, to be honest. Marcia says, I've been hoping Fender will also get a re-release or release a new GTX 50 and 100 and other models with the smart tones. They might do. That might be something that's coming. I think they haven't heard anything specific, but yeah, I think that might be a good shout, to be honest. Nellis as well, haven't thought of Black Oak, Arkansas in a long time. Jim Dandy is one of the songs of my youth. Heard it all the time back then. Good band. I'll have to check them out a little bit because it's not ringing a bell with me, but hey, that happens. Ryan says, I'd like a Keith Richards Black Gibson L5S. Yeah, I don't know why they don't really make those models. They're a little bit weird though. That's why, like, people look at them and go, there's something wrong with that Les Paul. So yeah, it would be cool, all right, to see them. When was the last time they did something like that? I think they did one for Ronnie Wood a few years, maybe 5 years ago. They definitely did one at like a very small run of something like that. Glenn Bailey says, I heard Van Halen had troubles getting signed because Dave looked too close and acted too much like Jim Dandy. Hey, I didn't. All right, that's not true. Sorry, Scott says, new / EDS 1275 or Firebird. I'd be interested in a good Firebird. And it's not going to be an EDS 1275. I don't believe so. But what I do believe is that we're going to get a Slash model this year that is not a Les Paul. My money is on a Flying V, and my secondary money is on an SG, surprisingly. Because of course, why not? Yeah, I can take I can, from what I've heard, is there's 2 Slash models coming, 2 new Slash models, and one of them definitely is not a Les Paul. What the other is, I don't know. It could be an addition to the acoustic range. It could be just a different finish Les Paul. It could be anything. But Gibson, Stroke Epiphone are doing 2 new models this year for Slash. So we'll see. I don't know when they're coming out. I heard mid-year, so we'll probably get a hint of them at NAMM. Firebird, I don't know. I don't know if they'll do another Slash Firebird. Maybe. Victory says, I can see they're both that they're both nuts. Yeah, that is true. Nella says, Ryan, I gave my daughter a Katana Mini a couple of years ago. It was cool. I don't think she plays much anymore. That's sad. But yeah, hey, listen, she has the choice if she with the Mini there. So that's a cool thing to give someone for sure. Chris from Coburg says, Y2K, what a letdown aside from the 14 grand Millennium Giant we smoked. I mean, hey, if that's what got you through tonight, that was cool. I was 17, so I wasn't taking, I wasn't doing any, I was like drinking 7-Up or Sprite or something. Probably something like that, and being a very good person, not doing anything that I wasn't supposed to. I mean, I'm 40 now. I won't get in trouble for it, but whatever. Nella says, Guitar Geek has a vid showing how to put a speaker out jack in the Mini. It looks like a good idea. Interesting. Guitar Geek. Andy the Guitar Geek. He's a cool guy. I like him a lot. Let me see. Michael Twaska's here. Good to see you, Michael. Hope you're doing well. Glad to have you here, as always. Victor says, no smoking near it. What's that? Oh, Bushkill and heavy roast coffee. No smoking near it. There you go. And now it says, have you tried an Epi Firebird? I have both the Gibby Firebird 2013 and an Epi. The Epi is replacing the Gibby one day. The Gibby one day when I need some Gibson cash. I haven't played a Firebird ever, really. Colin from Guitarist has played one recently, and he said, if I'm right, he said he loved it, but it was too big. But hey, there you go. She's a big guitar for sure. But yeah, I've never played one, so maybe that's something I need to add to my collection as well. Collection's kind of thin on the ground right now, but so, you know, I do have to add to it. And I've got 2 guitars selected that I'll hopefully be adding to it towards the end of April. Once I come back from NAMM and can kind of have spare money again, the spending will commence on guitars and guitar products. Although I did just do a deal recently that should mean that puts a tempting possibility in my way to get some guitars and stuff before that. But we'll see, because there's lots happening in the next couple of months, and yeah. There's some guitars. I want to pick up one of those Slash Harley Bentons before they get told to stop making them. I'm sure they will. Anyway, Benny says, on Y2K New Year's Eve, we partied at a friend's place like there was no tomorrow. Next morning, he got kicked out. Yeah, lots of that happened. I actually think that the Y2K thing was like the last time I saw a lot of people who I was friends with at that time, because we'd all finished school and stuff at that point, and I actually had moved like best part of 200 miles away and stuff, so just gone back up for that New Year's. So it was very strange. Yeah, it was probably the last time I saw a lot of my like childhood friends, which is kind of a weird addition to the story, but there you go, it's all good. Victor says, I'd rather have multi-epis than one Gibby. Certainly nowadays, Epiphones are way better than they used to be. And of course, you know, I'm sure you've heard the story of me selling my Epiphone or my Gibson SG Special because I preferred playing my Epiphone SG Special. And that's 2 years ago now. But yeah, so, and I loved that SG, so yeah, that's actually a great question. Would you like to have one Gibson original or 5 Epiphones with all different models, like an SG, an LP, a Firebird, a Explorer, and what's the other one? Flying V. Did I say that twice? Whatever. The other thing. It's an interesting conundrum. Nella says, I report the spammers. It doesn't seem to slow them down. Yeah, unfortunately it doesn't. Nice, Nella. I haven't ever held one, but I think they're cool. That's for the Firebird. When they have more than one pickup. It's from Scott. Yeah, the Joe Bonamassa signature from a few years ago. Which one was it? It was the like the fire or the gold mist one or something. That was a really nice one. That they did. Michael says, Scott, the EDS 1275 just scares me. So many strings. Firefly has a double neck for like $500. That's a very good point. 18 strings you got to change. So yeah, that's a lot of strings to be changing. I'm not a fan. Like string changes are fine and everything. It's just not my favorite thing to do. It's not fun. Hey, it's all part of the process. But yeah, definitely. Also, those things weigh a flipping ton. So that'd be the thing that would put me off on. Although I do think they look cool. That's the thing. So I did want one when I was younger, but nowadays I'm like, nah, it's fine. Marcia says, oh, I forgot to send you that info for brands to go visit at NAMM. I'll try to get that to you later on. Cool. There's no hurry. NAMM is nearly 3 months away. It's about 2.5 months away, so loads of time. And I'm flying in the day before. So yeah, the day before, there's plenty of time to send me whatever you think, and I'll do my best to get to everything. Probably what will happen is I will make a really detailed plan, and when I get there, forget the plan. Just do whatever happens. That's more than likely what's going to happen. That's how I do it with plans. John says, when I get spam calls, I often answer and say hello, and then just put the phone down until they hang up, because it's costing them to be on the phone to me instead of bugging someone else. That's a good plan, John. Yeah, you got to waste their time. Why not? It's a good tactic as any. Scott says, Dave, at NAMM, I want to see Will Jones, Dr. Epiphone. That'd be cool if he's there. Like, again, I'm not 100% sure Gibson are going to be there. Presume they are. They did say they were going to be supporting NAMM and be at it, so we'll hopefully see it. But it'll be good to run into folks like that if we can. Magic Myth says, for NAMM, if you see any affordable but decent new heads, solid state perhaps, that would be cool. Then compare it to the Katana head. That's a great idea, Magic Myths. Yeah, for sure. I did see like some brands like Donner are going to be at NAMM. They've got quite not a massive booth, but they have a larger than a lot of companies. That's going to be interesting to see what they're bringing, because they like to sponsor certain YouTube channels, things like that. But yeah, things like that is a great idea. Affordable but decent heads would be a cool thing to check out. Marcia says, the Catalyst sounds amazing. The one problem of the Boss Katana is the app user interface, and people say it's technically not an emulator like the rest, but I don't understand that part. There you go. I've heard the app interface is non-intuitive and clunky. In fact, I've heard that's the number one reason why people return their Katana, even though they admit it sounds amazing. Interesting. Yeah, I've never played it, so I don't know. But interesting, something to look at, to be sure. Victory says, I get spam car insurance calls. I answer hola and wait for Spanish peep, and then sprechen Sie Francie. Yeah, well, why not? It's all good. Ryan says, for now, I'd like to see any of the new boutique stuff. Some interesting stuff out there. That's definitely on the list. Yeah, definitely going to spend some time talking to some of the boutique builders if I can, and getting as much information. I think that's really cool, because what would be better than buying or commissioning a guitar that's completely your own? It's your own signature model. Why not? That's way better than another Bonamassa model. Not that there's anything wrong with them, but John says, a question for everyone: what's your favorite amp for under 150 bucks? Black Star, being the question mark. I know, but I do. I'd be interested to see what people say as well. Let me see. We got a super chat from Donald the Mail. Thanks, Donald. Appreciate that so much. Thank you. Says, it just turned 60, so spending my birthday cash on TCD. That is amazing. Thank you, Donald, and happy birthday. Not expecting a Jeff Beck like tribute when I go, but no one can doubt my loyalty to this channel. Indeed, Donald. No, listen, it's so appreciated. Thank you so much, and happy birthday to you. And listen, they might not show you on BBC News, but we'll be talking about you. So make sure but you'll be here for a long time. You're in the 60s, a young man at this stage. At least I hope it is, because it feels like it's around the corner. And I got plans for 2100. Yeah, there we go. That's the year. It's a long life I'm planning for myself here. Thanks, Donald. Marcia says, I never played a Spark amp either. People complain that the Spark 40 lacks low end and the speakers are not great. I've seen videos of people who swapped the speakers. Well, there you go. I haven't watched too many videos on it. When it came out, I saw a lot of positivity for it. Haven't watched anything really since. And as you said, I think earlier, it's like nearly 3 years. Magic Mitz says, FYI, I'm drinking Black Bush. I came down with a sore throat today, so it's medicinal. Oh, but if it's medicinal, there's no arguments here. It's as good as anything for that situation. T-Ball says, how about the tube amp from Harley Benton? Anyone have it? If you do, what you think? Colin from Guitarist said it was really good for the money, so I would go with him and say yeah, it's probably really good. Haven't got one yet, but it's another one I would gladly add to the desk at any point. Maybe if I want to replace the Marshall, which I do. But anyway, Ryan says, yeah, they did a Ron Wood L5S with 2 pickups, but otherwise the same. There you go. Yeah, I knew it was in my head somewhere when you said it. Cute goth cousin is back once again. Now I could use a katana. The heck with Glenn adopt me. Oh man, Glenn, we love you. We do. Crack myself up sometimes. I'm sure you do, Glenn. You're one of our people. We can't disown you now. Ryan says, I'm drinking a Jarritos lime flavored. I don't know what that is, but I'm hoping you enjoy it. Victory says, buy 150 pedal that won't burn up like SS Blackstar. Sounds like a good idea. Technically, Gibson does nothing new, says T-Ball. That's true. They haven't done anything new in a long time. Well, they've done the Theodore, which their latest model to be released, new style that hadn't been released before, even though it was designed in the 50s, which was pretty much a terrible design, and that's why it wasn't released in the 50s. But hey, making the bits why they're making the big bucks, and I'm on a YouTube channel. So what do I know about the guitar business? Anyway. Scott says, is it just me, or is the SG not copied as much as other models? Strat, Les Paul, Telly, etc. That's a good question. I think it is probably copied less. I don't know why that is, because as you guys know, I love the SG. I think it's one of the best guitars ever made. But it's possibly, it's like when you say to a kid, what does a guitar look like? 9 times out of 10, they would draw you a Les Paul or a Strat, electric guitar, or a Flying V. Then those are the 3 like just kind of icons that go straight to people's minds. Telecaster comes next when you're a little bit older and you've watched a little bit more things, because more people use those on like the bigger bands and stuff like that. And then you get like SGs and stuff like that come in other areas. So I think it's more of a refined taste, the SG, but it is, I think, copied less. But there's still copies, still plenty of copies. But yeah, those other ones, Les Paul's, Strats, are the highest numbers for sure. Nella says, John, they're small, but the old Vox DA5 and the Roland Cube amps are very good. Not sure about what's out there now for less than 150 other than the Katana Mini. Yeah, that's a good shout there, to be honest. Ryan says, T-Ball, same as any other brand, variants of old designs. True. There's not a whole lot of new designs coming around. They stick with what works a lot of the time. That's what they do. T-Ball says, sorry, Ryan says, no, I just read that one. Victory says the HB tube amps are rad for the size and cash. I would concur with that 100% from what I've heard. I do probably need to get one at some point. I've been saying that for probably 2 years now. But yeah, absolutely. Nella says to cute goth cousin, you're on the list. Don't encourage that sort of thing, Nella. Come on now, it'd be... he'll be pestering you for weeks. Just be careful, be careful. Chris from Coburg says, we need more Epi Firebirds and RDs. RDs would be good. Yeah, we haven't had a proper run. There's that signature one for, what's his name, a while ago. But yeah, be nice to have for sure. And Scott says, yes, a proper RD. That would be cool. Proper one with all the internal pieces of goodness. Victory says Roland quality. Indeed. John says, question for the Strat owners. What's the average weight of a Strat in pounds? God, I have no idea. Would it be around 7 pounds maybe? 6-7 pounds? I no, it's going to be 6. I'm not sure. I'm just making those numbers up, to be quite honest with you. Someone maybe will know. Ryan says, I can't get used to the Firebird offset. Yeah, anything offset for me is a little bit off-putting. But there you go. But yeah, that's why I probably haven't played one before. Let me see. Glenn says, yes, we need different colors on the Epi Firebirds. They're kind of, they need to do more colors on everything. And I think what they need to do, personally, if I was advising the folks over there at Gibson and Epiphone, I'd be like, refresh your colors more often. Your Inspired by Gibson line is great, but if I bought one 3 years ago, I've only got the same choices now. Put something different out there. That's what I think they should do. But yeah, for sure, I agree with you. Different colors would be cool. Magic Myths says to Marcia, yeah, a friend got a Catalyst combo, says it's really good. I've heard lots of good things about those amps. They're supposed to be really good. Yeah, for sure. Michael says, that's what she said. Michael, I remember what you're talking about there. I was going to say that, but anyway, moving on. John says, I have a Line 6 V20 amp. I actually like it. That's the most important thing. If you like it, it's all good. Victory says, my friend made me an Explorer. It's exquisite, but weighs like 11 pounds, very ornate. That's quite heavy. Yeah. I don't know if my back could handle it, but there you go. Ryan says, I take one Gibson over 5 Epis. Interesting choice. It would be, it's interesting. Like, I think for me, it would be like, can I sit down and play them all before I decide? Trying to figure it out. It would depend on what the Gibson is. Is it like a Les Paul tribute? I'd be like, give me the 5 other guitars. I don't even care what they are. If it was a special SG model, that'd be tough. And of course, it depends on the level. If it's like a custom shop or if it's a basic model Gibson and so forth. So yeah, it definitely is. It definitely is a conundrum, but good choice, Ryan. Yeah, be cool. Chris says, reverse and non-reverse Firebirds. I'll both take one of each. Scott says, Dave, what is the next Gibson that nobody ever heard of coming out? When is the next Gibson that nobody ever heard of coming out? Like the Tulip one. Wasn't there 11 other designs? There's rumored more designs. I think, was it 11 or 10 or something? There was it's off the top of my head. There was so many lost designs from the 1958 sessions, apparently, that were going to be released, that never got released. It's all in the video for the Theodore, the actual explanation of how many there is and what we should be seeing. From my understanding is Gibson were not happy with the backlash that the Theodore received. Folks like myself making videos saying this guitar is not fantastic. They weren't happy with that. They wanted everyone to be like, this is the most amazing thing that's ever happened. And when they didn't, and people started taking the piss out of their pricing for it, they got a little bit butthurt, I would say. This is the information I was told, because I was trying to ask, like, when are we going to get more new stuff like that? And I was told, oh, that's probably on hold, and this is why. So I don't think we're going to see much of that lineup, at least not in the way we were going to see it. The Theodore was a tester, I believe, with plans, if it went well, to release the rest of them. But we might see like one a year at the same time. That wouldn't surprise me. And I think they came out in March. So it wouldn't surprise me if in the next couple of months we see a Gibson from the vault release. But Yeah, it was a few months ago I was told that. So things can change in Gibson very quickly. Um, like Cesar can have an idea on a Monday morning, and by Friday a guitar's in production or prototypes are in production. So um, anyway, yeah, we'll see, we'll see. So there definitely is other designs, Scott. Whether they'll actually bring them out, I don't know, is the answer to that. Chris from Coburg says, John, my strats are about 7.5 pounds. And Ryan says strats are usually 8 to 9 pounds. There you go. See, I have so little in experience with strats, very little experience that I wasn't sure. But yes, 8 to 9 pounds sounds good. 7.5 sounds good too. But what's that? Okay. Um, yeah, 8 to 9 pounds, not too bad. John says, I'd take several good Epiphones versus one expensive Gibson any day. There you go. Interesting choice. Yeah, for sure. Victory says, made of local oak from his property, all gabby guts, but bolt on hockey stick neck. Very cool. Yeah, oak's gonna make it very heavy for sure. But cool. That's a nice one off that you got there for sure. Rich C says, I have 4 Epi Zero Gibsons, 21 Casino, 20 SG Special, P90, 94 LP 100, and a 93 Dreadnought. Doubt I'll ever afford a Gibson. Man, you got some cool stuff there. Those 21 Casinos are really nice. And the SG Specials with the P90s, those are that's one of my favorite guitars of however long I've been playing guitar now, 25 years, 26 years, something like that. So yeah, you got some good ones. Nothing wrong with those whatsoever, Rich. Good for guitars there, and thanks for dropping in to see us. Scott says the EDS could get an update. The EDS 1275 modern with a flame maple top, 37 hole weight relief. Good luck pitching that. I don't know. We will see. Benny Larson playing at my heartstrings and saying a Pelham Blue Epi Firebird would be awesome. It would. I'd probably need to buy that if they brought it out, Benny. But yeah, we'll see. I do like the red ones, to be honest. It's kind of a weird, like the red with the gold hardware I like on the Firebird. Just aesthetically, think it looks great. Victory Crosby says, I just bought 5 more now, 10 cases short. Don't know my total count. Scary though. That's scary indeed. Don't worry about it too much. It's all good. Chris from Coburg says, also Strat vary in weight from year to year, especially the heavy 70s one. Indeed. Lots of happy birthdays for Donald, which is great to see. Let me see where we got. Ricky Compton's here, says, hey everyone. Hey Ricky, good to see you, my friend. Let me see what else have we got. James Severan's here. Good to see you, James. Says, hi, my Irish brother, Chord Dave. Hope you're doing well, James. Hope you're having a good day. Michael says, I've got a Black Star Fly and love it. Those are pretty fun. Yeah, I like those. James says, you rock 3-chord. Thanks, James. Appreciate it so much. So do you. You rock, sir. I like the guitar in your profile picture. Always makes me think I got to get one of those to go with my Flying V. Absolutely. Michael says, you gotta go. You guys rock. You guys indeed do rock. So thanks, Michael, for dropping in. And I'm sure you've gone by now, but take care of yourself wherever you're off to. Ricky Compton says, I have to get my hands on a Laney Supergroup 100 watt head. Laneys are supposed to be really good. Yeah, I've never played through one, so not speaking from personal experience, but I do believe they are excellent guitar amps. Donald says, thanks guys. I swear I feel 25 till I look in the mirror and see my dad looking back, still giving it my all. Hey, Donald, I still feel like 25. Actually, maybe I'm just going to say 21 for now, but yeah, definitely. And then occasionally I'm reminded that I'm 40. I was speaking to someone in my age group recently, appropriately aged, and she said to me about her age. It was a couple of years ahead of mine, and I was like, that doesn't sound right, because like we're still really young people. And then I remembered, no, we're not. We have proper jobs and everything now. It's weird. So yeah, it's weird. And I remember many moons ago, I think it was like, I must have been 19, and I was taking a class somewhere, and one of the girls in the class one day said at lunchtime, she started crying just for no reason, which if you have any experience with ladies, that can happen. But her reason for crying was, I'm going to be 20 next week. And we were like, oh, okay, that's good. Happy birthday. And she said, but it's like, that's so close to 40. We were like, no, it's not. What are you talking about? That's like a lifetime away. And now we're all 40. How'd that happen? Anyways, it's weird stories from my past coming up today. I don't know why, but yeah. Listen, it's all good. We're still. You're only as young as the guitar you play. So don't buy old guitars. Only as young as you feel, and all that sort of stuff. All that sort of motivational nonsense. T-Ball says, I traded some gear and a little bit of cash for a Supro Blues King. Love that amp. That's a pretty cool one. I wouldn't mind that, to be honest. That sounds awesome. Chris from Coburg says, you all rock with your blank out. Only on Sundays. Can't do it on a live stream because YouTube would be all over that. Ricky Compton says the SG is the best selling guitar. The SG is the only Gibson guitar that has never been out of production since they introduced it. I think that's one of my favorite facts about Gibson in general. Every single year since they introduced the SG, they have made the SG. Every other model that they have introduced, they have stopped making at some point and reintroduced. It's a nice little fact. Like, obviously, things like the Telecaster, the Strats, they've all been in production since they came out. But Gibson only one model, and it's the SG. That's how good they are. So there you go. John says, Scott Bogfoot, Harley Benton has a nice selection of SGs. They're getting better with their SGs for sure. They didn't have a lot of them until I think last year. But they definitely have some nice ones now. The Goto range is pretty good. Wayne McConnell, good to see you. Says greetings from Canada. Any thoughts on a new Badlands guitar? Yeah, we were talking about it earlier, Wayne. It's like, I like it. I'm not a fan of the guitar in particular, but I'm a fan of what they're doing. I think it's pretty cool. Just for anyone who missed the thoughts on it earlier, they're making essentially collector's edition guitars that are going to be one run only. So that's really nice. It's a good idea. You got some guys like Phil McKnight who are going to make sure those guitars are cool and are very quality controlled, which is great. But that comes at a price, so they're up there price wise, which is good if the guitar is good, and not good if the guitar is not good. So I'm pretty sure these guitars are going to be very good when they get to whoever owns them. And it's good that they seem to have this deal with the manufacturer that if they sell, let's say they sell 10, that's cool. They sell 10. But if they sell 75, then they sell 75 and they make them all. So it's good, they're not tied into a big order. I believe it's going to work on some kind of a pre-order system. Like you buy your guitar now, you get it in April or whenever further on down the road. I think that's a good way, because then they just go order the guitar that you've already paid for and everybody wins. I think it's a really great idea. I'm a little bit jealous. Wish I'd thought of it. But I wouldn't. I just make SGs all the time. So there you go. Al says, have been playing my Epi Les Paul Epi 59 and a Gibson Standard LP, friends. The first two may be good for the money, but the Gibson was by far the better with the Burst Bookers 1 and 2. So what does good for the money really mean? Well, it's a big question, Al. So yeah, I agree with you in terms of how I would explain my experience with choosing Epiphone versus Gibson, and the famous story I tell all the time of selling my Gibson SG Special in favor of my Epiphone SG Special. I think the Gibson was a better guitar. It felt it felt better made. It was higher quality. There is no doubt. It wasn't like for like, because it was mini humbuckers versus P90s, and it was Epiphone P90. Like, it was the $329 Epiphone SG Special, so the cheapest one you could get, I believe, versus a Gibson SG Special, which is a great guitar. It's a better guitar, but the Epiphone was great in its own right. It played great, it felt great, and to me, I don't know whether it's like the aesthetics thing, because I liked the coloring and all that, the finish of the guitar a lot more. than the cherry finish on the Gibson. It just comes down to the feel of which one you will feel like picking up more. So for me, it was like, I'm going to pick up this Epiphone 10 times more than I'm going to pick up that Gibson. In fact, for about 6 months after I bought the Epiphone, the Gibson didn't leave its case. So I was like, right, there's not much point in hanging on to it because I have the Epiphone and I like that more. And so I think that's where it comes down. It comes down to the gift, the feeling you get, that it gives you when you pick up the guitar. And even though a guitar might be better made or just a technically better guitar, you might not have that bond with it. It might just not feel. And that's how I feel about the Epiphone. The Gibson was a better guitar, but my Epiphone just felt more of a match to me at the time. But I think that's a good point. Like, I mean, a guitar can be better than something else, but the other one might just have more of a vibe for you. So I feel about it anyway. I don't believe that Epiphones are better than Gibsons. I don't believe there's a world where Epiphones become better than Gibsons or anything like it. Even the expensive ones, I don't think are going to be better than them because they get made too quickly. There's not that much time put into them, but Gibson also need to add a couple of minutes on the workbench for their guitars. Even though a lot of good ones come out, a lot of really bad ones come out as well. And you can be lucky, like I have been, like I know some of you guys have been, but then when you see the bad ones, and I'll bring it back to Muddy H2O again, his very expensive Flying V he bought was ridiculous when it came straight from Gibson. So things like that are just not acceptable, and they need to stamp that out somehow. Anyways, getting carried away. Ricky Compton says, I think the EVH Wolfgang specials are good bang for the buck. Never played one of those, but I like the look of them. So yeah, at some point we'll try and get to pick one up. It'd be much easier if I lived closer to Thomond and could just go into their warehouse and try everything. Glenn says, hit the like button, peoples, because if Marcia has to remind you, I'll just say you've been warned. Indeed, you don't want to get on the bad side of Marcia. Let me see. Scott Steves says, less than a Les Paul. Good to see you, Scott. Hope you're well. Al says, average weight for the Strat 7.5 to a little over 8. There we go. We got some different figures on that, but still, they're all falling around the same area. John says, in a few decades, PRS will be just as popular and well respected as Strats, Les Pauls, and Telecasters. They could be. I kind of like where PRS is right now, that they're off to the side of, like, there's no denying Fender and Gibson are the big two, okay? Because those are the ones that people bring, like pick up in the guitar store when they go shopping for their first guitar. Those are the shapes that people go looking for. But PRS make excellent guitars, and you kind of only figure out that once you've kind of known guitars for a while, once you've been in the guitar space for a while. I really like it. I think it's a guitar player's guitar is a PRS. Not everybody loves them, that's for sure. And some people have very strong opinions against PRS. I like them. I think they're really, really good. I think the SE line are some of the best guitars, import guitars you can buy. Yeah, in a few decades, who knows? They could be up there. They're definitely the third, like biggest brand right now, already. So, yeah, it's just the gap from the top two is definitely huge. But it's you know, they're doing good stuff. This year's releases have been fantastic so far. Ricky Compton says, yeah, the 70s Strat were heavy. I've seen some almost 10 pounds. That's a heavy guitar, man. That's why I steer clear of Les Pauls, to be honest. Al says, hey John, I'm with you. I now own 4 PRS guitars and they're great. T-Ball says PRS is my favorite. Local to Anthony, I believe, PRS. So yeah, the PRSs are great. They're really good guitars. I'm really looking forward to getting my hands on a few of their new releases this year. So yeah, an SE McCarthy single cut 594 has to be added to the collection at some point this year. Probably a standard in the cherry. I like that one a lot. That'll be cool. We'll see how it goes. Again, trying not to go guitar shopping until after NAMM, but we'll see how it goes. Things are expensive, guys. Things are super expensive. But we'll get to that another time. John says, I can't play my Epiphone Les Paul anymore because it weighs too much. That's a common problem with Les Pauls, man. Scott says, Dave, ask Epiphone to bring back the Ultra Les Paul at NAMM, Ultra 4 with the Thunderbolt instead of USB. Ah, man. When the Ultra 3 came out, I think I've told you guys this before. When the Ultra 3 was out, I didn't want to buy one because I thought the Ultra 4 was going to come out like right behind it. Of course, I knew nothing. I had no connections. I had no information, no way of finding information back then. Um, like I do now. Like now I can, if I have an idea that something's coming out, I can places and people I can go to ask. Then I'd nowhere, and nobody to ask. So yeah, I would love that, Scott, if they brought the Ultra series back. It worries me that it was, that was the old ownership, so we might not see that again. But I definitely think that was a cool run that they did. And one thing that's really telling is it's very hard to get an Ultra 3 as a second-hand purchase. They don't come up for sale very often. But they're very cool. I would love that. Ultra 4, I'd snap that up in a second. And yeah, anything other than the, what was it, the USB-A they had in it or something at the time, that'd be interesting. Thunderbolt would be fun, yeah. We'll see how they go. Let me see what we got. Al says, if we could find a PRS S2 Studio, I'd be a happy guy. Of course, when the funds are also available. That'd be nice, Al. Yeah, absolutely. Nice little collection of PRS guitars you have going on there for sure. Scott says, I hated the Theodore, but appreciated that they tried. Yeah, I was the same. I think it's good that they tried to do something. It was just a very poor attempt, I think. I also, and I think I've been solid on this all the way through, I don't like they called it the Theodore. I think that was them trying to be too fancy or trying to make too much of a deal of it. I didn't like what they did. But hey, that's not for me to say. There you go. Nella says, I like the Theodore, but not the price. Scalpers really effed over the market and people said to them, eat it. Yeah, it was fun watching people get burned. Not going to mention any particular YouTube channels who were like, I'm going to buy the whole collection and sell the whole collection for like 4 times the price of a single one. Yeah, it was kind of funny. To me, that guitar looks like an SG Special, just with a dip. They just did the body different. So yeah, I didn't appreciate the pricing on it at all. But there you go. Ricky says, I always like the Victory. I wish they would do a re-release of them. That would be an interesting one for sure. John says, I still need a guitar with P90s. Yeah, put it on your list, John, for sure. P90s are super great. Rich says, both those P90s are great in my opinion. I agree with you. And John says, hopefully a PRS with P90s. That'd be fun. Yeah, absolutely. Ricky says, I love to see Gibson do another Randy Rhoads Les Paul custom. That would be, yeah. I don't know if it's on the books for this year. Maybe, not impossible. I'm sure if they did it, they would do it as a custom shop, super expensive edition. But we'll see how it goes. Let me see. Nella says, to Al, the Epi 59 has burst bookers. Not sure which model of burst bookers though. 2 and 3, I think. Yeah, pretty sure it's the 2 and 3, right? Corey says, my modeling amp of choice these days is plugging the guitar into my Boss GT1 multi-pedal and plugging that into the phone input of a phono input of a 1957 Normand tube amp. That sounds awesome, Corey. Yeah, for sure. Sounds really cool. T-Ball says, can't wait for the day when Gibson and Fender concentrate more on guitars than being a lifestyle brand. You might be waiting a while for that, Anthony, I think. So yeah, for sure it is a long way away, but hey, you never know. Marcia says, can you guys see this? I had to reboot, the chat wouldn't let me type. No, we can't see that, Marcia, sorry. Maybe try again later. Just kidding, of course. Richard Clark, good to see you, man, says, I'm about to be 58. I can't figure out how it happened. The upside is that I can afford all those young guitars Dave was talking about. There you go. Yeah, good stuff, Richard. Appreciate it. Al says, hasn't Gibson consistently produced the 335? Apparently not, no. So there's years when it was being out. So where did I get that information? I think it was 5 Watt World where I got the whole thing about SGs being the only guitar. But anyway, feel free to look into it. That's I'm pretty sure 335s were out of production at some point in the 80s. Pretty sure, but yeah, happy to be corrected if it's correct. But if it's not correct, but from my understanding, SGs are the only ones never to be out of production for even one single year. Ricky Compton says, yeah, Marshall, I turned 59 this year. I feel you, brother. There you go. We see we got a nice mature audience here, which is good. T-Ball says, with the way my health has been, I'm thankful for every birthday. Well, we're glad to have you for every birthday as well, Anthony. So keep on doing what you're doing, because you saw the last one. Let's see the next one. Rich C says, all these 57, 58 Richard C's in this chat is kind of odd. It is. It is. Oh, where are all these Richards coming from? T-Ball says, how long before Gibson figures out a way to sue Phil McKnight? They're trying to figure out ways to sue everybody, so I'm sure they'll figure it out. Ricky says, yeah, I've been retired for 2 years, T-Ball. Now I'm falling apart. I've had my knee replaced and now I need back surgery too. Every day is a gift. There you go. It's part of the process, isn't it? Al says, listening to Phil, they lawyered consistently during production. Yeah, I'd say they did. There's definitely Kramer vibes from the guitar, but I think they're okay. But we'll see. I'm sure Phil will tell us if anything happens. Scott says, Dave, if you could update any guitar which is out there, which would it be and how would you update it? The question is open to anyone, actually. Great question. How would I update a guitar? I don't know. Just my ultimate fantasy probably would be a Les Paul with just chopped down, just a Les Paul custom light, or I think they did a studio light at one point. Just one of those. Just basically a Les Paul, but it's like shape, but it's the size of an SG. That's what I would do. But that's what my signature model will be. I think when Gibson finally decide they don't hate me anymore. Yeah, that's probably what I would do. I don't know. I don't really like too many modern features. I'm not even a big fan of things like push pulls and coil splits and stuff like that. And they're not new. They're not new features. I just want a straight guitar when I'm into them. Now at the same time, there's certain guitars I'm like, this should have a push pull. This should have coil splits or whatever. So yeah, I don't know. Just make it all. I'm way more into vintage guitars, old guitars, than I am new ones. So probably what I would do, yeah, is the Les Paul / SG combo. That would be my answer. Nala says, the recent Gibson SG Special 90 P90 has the bridge pickup in the wrong place. It is too close to the bridge. That's why Epi sounds better in the bridge position. Yeah, well, I'm not surprised. They do make some change. How hard is it to put the pickups in the right place? How is that a thing? And if you look at the Tony Iommi guitars that came out recently, the pickguard on those is weird as well. It's like it's so wrong, the Gibson one. And yet they got it right on the Epiphone. So they make a lot of these silly mistakes, and I'm like, how do you do those things? But yeah, the Epiphone P90s are really, really good, even the basic ones. I already call them P90 Pros or something now. Mar says, oh, you better believe you don't want to make me mad. I think everyone in this chat is afraid of making Marsha mad at this point. It's all good. Scott says, is that why 24 feet SG pickups sound different? Yes. I know. Chris from Coburg says, we need an affordable Rory Strat. Yes, please, Fender, please do it. I don't care if you make it in Mexico. That's fine by me. Just make a new Rory Gallagher Strat for us, please. One that we can buy. I'd buy it in a second. It would be the only Strat that I would own. I mean, Fender Strat. But I would buy that tomorrow if they put it out. And even with my no guitars before NAMM thing, I'd still go out and buy that guitar tomorrow. But hey, they're probably working on it, right? Hopefully. Still no word, still no update, by the way, on the John Frusciante signature that we are aware is coming, or they're working on, but I haven't had an update on that yet. A couple of people asked me this week, so yeah, no update, but working on it, trying to find information. Very little. They're keeping those cards close to their chest. Because unlike Gibson, they have found most of their leaks and fixed them. There you go. Let me see. Benny says, Tanella, interesting information. Hope they don't do the same with the Epiphone SGs. Yeah, me too, man. Oh man, it's getting Guinness time. SB says, evening, I missed last week due to a guitar safari trip. Very cool. Wanted more gain since the Micro Terror was too Fendery, so I traded it for a 2x12 British Marshall valve state. Did a full cleanup and service and ordered a new reverb tank. Very cool, SB. Nice. Good to have you here, by the way. Thanks for dropping in. Can't complain when you're on a guitar safari. That's cool. Al says, the 59 burst bookers are 2 and 3. The Gibson sounded better to me, and yet the neck 61 was also better. There you go. Yeah, the 61 neck would be, I think, better. In my opinion, I'd like it better, is what I should say there. Victory says, how about the poser prerequisite that matches playability of the guitar? The Johnny Depp Shipwreck Player Series now available at West Marine on the Anchor sale. I mean, if it's poser prerequisite, then yeah, probably buy one. Benny says, Scott, no, it's the 24-foot baritone scale length, but seriously, if it's a neck pickup, it's the pickup placement to make room for 2 extra frets. There you go. Good stuff from Benny there. Ryan Burns says, I like the S2 Vela, amazing guitar for the price. I like the S2 Vela. I think it's a pretty cool design and everything. It's a little bit different. I do enjoy that one. Scott says, a top tier Rory Gallagher relic'd Strat would be something I'd buy in a heartbeat. Made in Mexico, not mom. All right, Scott. I think you're sending out vibes there. Too late. It's there. It's on the internet forever now. Marta agrees the S2 Vela looks amazing. They're great. They're really, really cool. SB says, Dave, how are the guitar purchases for the channel going? I'm going to make my SG push-pull to see, because the Duncans I bought are 17k and 16k. They'd sound nice split. They would sound nice split. Yeah, no guitar purchases for the channel yet this year because of NAMM happening. And that's taking up all the spare cash. But I don't know, as I was saying earlier, I have 2 guitars picked out that I want to buy that I know are for sale and I could go get them. But yeah, the problem is spending a lot of money going to NAMM, so I have to hold out until I come back from NAMM to make sure, I don't spend the rent money here and stuff like that. So yeah, no new guitars until April, end of April, maybe at the earliest. But when I'm at NAMM, I am going to go to Norm's Rare Guitars. Who knows what happens when you walk in there? Maybe you walk out with a guitar, maybe you don't, maybe you're careful, and maybe you're not careful. Just depends how the night before went, I guess. But there you go. We'll see. Ryan says, I wish my mom would get me a Rory Strat too, Scott. Scott, you're not going to live that one down for a while, man. I think that's going to keep going. Victory says, Rory Gallagher's Calling Card is one of my favorite albums. Yeah, Victory, we are big Rory Gallagher fans here. He's always in the corner there behind me, and he's one of my favorite artists ever. So yeah, we do a lot of talk about Rory a lot. He's one of our faves. SB says, Scott, I just bought a Lars Ulrich toilet at That crazy guy made and make it into a guitar cause YOLO. YOLO indeed. Ryan says LA Music by me still has a Rory Strat in stock. 7,000 Canadian. It was one of Fender's first relics. It isn't the greatest work. They need to redo it. It would be cool, all right, for sure. T-Ball says if Dave got a signature Gibson, Lord would be flipping it a week later. He would. I think I'm pretty solid on the idea that if I had a signature Gibson, it would be really cool. And I see all these things like, people saying, oh, we're doing a limited run of 300 guitars. I think I could design a guitar that would sell 300, no problem. I think some of you guys would be really into some of the guitars that I would design. Different coloring matches and stuff like that. I wouldn't do plain solid colors. There would be designs. I think the guitars would have that little bit of difference that you don't really see too often. And yeah, if Gibson want to hit me up, I'll do it. I know Cesar pops in and out here from time to time on the channel. He probably doesn't come to the live streams, let's be honest, but he does check out the channel because he's watched a couple of my videos and told me about them. But there you go. Yeah, hopefully if Gibson do go to NAMM, I'll get to chat with Cesar. That'd be cool. And I'll get him to confirm he has watched the channel. Scott, anyway, says, I'd like to see a chambered mahogany body Wildcat return. The ES1 doesn't interest me. I like the ES1s. I think they're pretty cool looking. But yeah, the old, slightly older style ones are great as well. I think they're still selling them though. They're still making them, right? Maybe they're just selling old stock still. I don't know. Victory says hot rails and single coils in a Les Paul. Yeah, that'd be a pretty sweet deal. I'm sure those would go pretty well. Yeah, I'd like that actually. Ryan says Epi has some cool hollow body models for sure. The Bobcat is nice. Bobcats are hard to come by. Are they not? Did they re-release it, or am I thinking of the Swingster? I don't know. Corey says if I could redesign a guitar, I'd build a string through hardtail Strat with a P90 in the neck, humbucker in the bridge, an ash body with an oil finish and an oil finished maple neck and maple board. Sign me up. I'd buy that. That'd be cool. Yeah, P90s Pro are great, but the metal covers plating sucks. I love the soap bar ones in the special P90. Yeah, the black plastic coverings on the SG special that we have, Scott, they're great. They're very vintagey feeling, I think. I just love that guitar, man. It's so good. Ryan says I'd like a Les Paul Florentine custom in transparent white flame top. Wow, that's pretty interesting. I wouldn't mind an ES Les Paul, to be honest. Yeah, I think it would be pretty cool to have. I think somebody mentioned earlier having an Epiphone ES Les Paul would be cool. I would agree with that. White flame top. Yeah. It's not the worst white finish you could have. So yeah, I'd back you on that. Let's be fair. Victory says, gotta have a casino to begin with. Then one with P90 and then one with hot rails and single coils, etc. Extra storage room. Yeah, it sounds like you got it all planned out. I like it. I like it a lot. Ryan says, or make a new LP Supreme. That'd be fun. I'd like to see what the new team would do with an LP Supreme. That'd be cool, indeed. Victory says, just got a double cut hollow D'Angelico with soap bars. Gonna have to get a D'Angelico at some point. Yeah, that makes beautiful guitars. Very beautiful guitars. Chris from Coburg says, pretty sure my new strap has changed my guitar tone and go. You got a tone strap? I don't believe it. Yeah, you got to watch out for them tone straps. It's gonna be so much trouble. Ryan says the new gold foil line are out. I went to try the Telly out today, but it was sold before I got there. Damn it, man. Kristen Coburg says I can't afford norms. I mean, I've been checking what their cheapest guitars. They have some cheap Fenders and stuff for like $500. So I'll be looking at those. They are Strats, I think. They have Strats, or it's not Strats, Squares. They have Squares that I could buy anywhere in the world. Let's see. I'll probably buy a t-shirt. Victory says, sold tellies are a sad day. Yeah, that's true. Nella says, question about coil split. Does the split position use a 250k pot? Does it share the 500k pot? Seems that 250k would make the split pup sound better. I actually don't know the answer to that, so I'm not going to pretend I do. Maybe someone will be able to pop in and let you know. Victory says, make a techie telly. That'd be interesting. SB says, oof, understandable. You could steal Cesar's hat and scarf and ask for ransom. That'd be fun. 2 or 3 Murphy Labs if Gibson is watching. I allegedly said this. Yeah, no comment. No comment on that. Teak wood and bamboo neck from Victory. That's it. I mean, again, you're looking at pretty heavy there in that case, but for the teak in body, I presume it's a body. Bamboo neckwood. I mean, yeah, it's an interesting choice as well. Marcia said, did anyone see that Cesar plays some piano? Yeah, I saw him on Instagram. Cesar's Instagram is a great place for Gibson leaks, by the way. Guys, if you're paying attention, you can pick out stuff here and there. I know Geek Lord has made many a video about, hey, Cesar's put something on Instagram again. Yeah, I mean, I don't make videos about those things too often, but there you go. Brian Setzer had a signature swingster, I believe. I think he did, yeah, for like a minute and a half, and then he went back to something else. Victory says, I like my Reverend Jetstream 390 soap bar with bass roll-off. Reverend's one of the brands I'm really looking forward to seeing when I go to NAMM, actually, getting to know those guys and checking out their guitars a little bit more. Because I haven't had much experience with them, but yeah, I definitely want to check those out. That sounds like a cool one, Victory. Marcia says, I've seen nice used guitars at NAMM, at the NAMM website for 300 plus. They 100% they 100% have some nice guitars in there for not huge money. They do, like the vintage stuff, they tend to be like 10% over what the market usually is. But that's to be expected, I guess, because they are who they are, which is pretty good. But hey, it's a tourist, it's a guitar tourist destination at the same time. It's not just a guitar shop, and it is a guitar shop that the rich and famous go shopping at. So I doubt any of them will be there on a Saturday morning when I pop up. But hey, I'm just going in with my phone to make some videos and be like, hey, I went to NAMM because I was wanting to check it out. And I've been to California so many times and never gone. So I may as well go this time. This is a guitar trip. And technically, the tax man will know this is a business trip. So, it's all tax write-off and all that sort of crack. To anybody who's watching, so you know. Chris says, I think Norm should gift you a guitar, Dave. That'd be cool, Norm. If you want to reach out and we can arrange something, be sweet. I can do guitar that day if you want. Totally down for that. Nobody wants that. Nella says, Crosby can't go wrong with a Reverend. Reverend's, yeah, I'm really looking forward to that, to be honest. SB says, Nella, it depends on what you're splitting and the cap. Also, I'll split humbuckers with 500k pots. I don't know if it changes the value of the pot. I understand it turns off one coil. That sounds like a good explanation, SB. Yeah, thanks for that. Al says, I saw Norm did gift a telly to a homeless guy who plays outside his store. Norm seems like a great guy. He really does, always has. Big fan of Norm. SB says, I never saw anyone split a single coil, but maybe it could be done. Yeah, I technically would not know the answer to that. Like, I would not be as technical enough to know that, but I think you might be right, SB. But yeah, good answer for sure. Chris from Coburg says, gotta hit the beer store. Check you later. Thanks, Chris, for popping in. Always good to see you, man. And have a good one. Take it easy on the way to the beer store. Scott says, Bonamos's Normburst Epi LP is very nice guitar, but I never hear much about it. Yeah, I think it was a very limited run. I think it is a nice guitar, indeed. I'm more excited, though, when it comes to Bonamassa to find out about the SG that they're putting out this year. So I'm looking out for information about that. I think it's going to be cool. it'll definitely, I think, be one to snap up because the Bonamassa ones just keep getting more expensive and more expensive, and have a better resale value. So yeah, be cool to see that. Victory says mine's Sonic Blue, lightly sparkled. Sounds cool. Sounds very cool. That's a great color. Ryan says D'Angelico look awesome, but nowhere here carries them to at least try one out. Oh man, that sucks, and they're so close as well because you're in from New York, right? Yeah, that would drive me mad. But anyways, yeah, maybe you can check them. Maybe they'll be at the show and I can check them out for you. Marcia says maybe Norm can gift an inexpensive guitar to give away. I'm sure they won't gift me anything, but if they do, say it's not a bad idea. And also, let's pray Aer Lingus let me get on the plane with a guitar. I don't know if they will. I'm sure they will. Scott Bogford says a Norm store tour or warehouse would be sweet. Might do it for a donation or something. You never know. You never know. I might have to reach out the week before. I believe the NAMM week they just get pounded with people wanting to come to the shop. So we'll see. Like I might turn up Saturday morning and there'll be a huge queue of YouTubers who want to do the same thing. Probably that will be the case. But we'll see, you know. I'll do my best to get there and make some good content. Al says, does Norm have any affordable guitars? Yeah, they sell Squires and everything and Epiphones, so they just tend to only make videos about the really expensive stuff. But they do have other guitars as well. Tour, not you. Scott, I think either you may have some issues today with your keyboard. I think let's just hope it's the keyboard and not that the snow is driving you slowly insane. It's all good. Scott says, I'll buy his SG at any price. I've been begging for it for years. I have so many LPs I've turned away from them. Unfortunately, at 335 didn't jive with me. The only thing I didn't like about the 335 was the price. I would have gone up to 1,000 for it, but the 1299 I think was too much for what it was. But one of the guitars I'm going to pick up is an alternative to that guitar, and I'm really excited for it. I think it's going to be fantastic. So keep an eye out on the channel. Late April, May. Might be buying myself a very nice birthday present. So anyway, that's that. Ryan says, lol, taxes. Yeah, tell me about it, man. Tell me about it. Al says, doesn't Norm have staggered opening hours? Yeah, they have very short opening hours nowadays. I believe they only open like 3 days a week or something. And they don't open till like 11:30 or something. Crazy like that. So yeah, they don't open very long. But I got 3 months to organize it, so I'm sure we can figure it out. So that's it, guys. We're at the very bottom of the chat for tonight. Thank you so much, every one of you who dropped in to say hello. It was super cool chatting with you for almost 2 hours. Thank you very much to Donald for the super chat. Very cool and helps to keep the channel going. Don't forget, this video is here tomorrow on YouTube. Harley Benton / tribute model. Got some cool ideas and everything about it, and we will be you can watch it right now on Patreon if you sign up for that, so check it out. All kinds of things happening in the next few months, guys, so don't forget to check out, keep an eye on the channel. Appreciate every single one of you. It's been cool. Thank you so much. Let me just find the thing I need. Where's it gone? There it is. All right, guys, have a great week. I'll check out for now, but I'll talk to you all very soon. Take care.